The day of freedom has finally arrived for hundreds of January 6th political prisoners. You guys have got to check this out.
The hunters have become the hunted. The woke are now fleeing. The prosecutors are now getting their own lawyers. And we are resetting the table for righteousness, justice, and the American way, actually, like literal reality. And the reality is that the vast majority of people during January 6th were just there to peacefully protest. That's it. That's it. Okay, now we've stated on the show many, many times, like if you hit cops, I don't care if you're wearing black bloc or red hat, if you're punching police officers, you gotta go. But what we've learned also on this show is that the people that were behaving the most violently were Antifa members. They've literally locked them up. They put them in jail. These are BLM and Antifa members. It really made me wonder, like, where were all the Antifa members that day? You know, Antifa was ubiquitous in Washington, D.C. Where did Antifa go? It's like they literally put on disguises and inserted themselves into the audience to cause trouble, to be troublemakers. So anyway, taking a step back, the vast majority of people that were charged on January 6th were charged with something called Section 1512C2, which is a section of the legal code about document shredding, about Enron. So they were charged because they were disrupting an official proceeding. Well, everything disrupts an official proceeding. Every time that the Hamas holes protest, every time there's a left-wing protest that blocks the street, they're obstructing an official proceeding. So I love this ruling because it's like you can just lock up so now you just lock up anyone because anyone, anywhere. Me sitting in my car is obstructing some official proceeding, certainly somewhere. Me on my phone obstructs something. Me stopped at a stoplight obstruct. It's insane.
Think about this for a second. If you wanted to stop a political movement and you wanted to distract people from what they were actually protesting, which were the results of the 2020 election, what do? Do you sit there and listen to their issues? Or do you make it seem that they are madmen trying to overthrow our government? Which do you think would be better at silencing the opposition? I think we all know the answer. I happen to think people were paid to be agitators. People were paid to rile people up. Out of all the people there on that day, January 6th, causing violence, I would love to know what percentage of those people actually voted for Donald Trump. Because something tells me it's a very low number.
There's no merit here. This is wrong. And we've begun to see federal judges now canceling sentencing. We've begun to see federal judges now freaking out, saying, please, God, don't give blanket pardons to all J6ers. You will have undone all of the work that we did here to persecute innocent Americans. Because, quite frankly, it is required almost as an American for you to protest against your government. You can check it right there in the First Amendment. First Amendment says, you have an obligation as an American to speak freely and redress your grievances to your government. It's right there in black and white. And that's what they're charging people for. So it's utterly unconstitutional. This charge specifically, 1512C2, is the charge that they hit everyone with that was even like in the general area. You could have just been a hot dog cart vendor and they'll hit you with this charge because you sold a hot dog during January 6th. So it's totally evil. And now those charges are collapsing. And there's a beautiful, beautiful story of a man named Nick Oakes who's been released, sprung from prison now, one of many, there's many of these, sprung from prison, and he's reuniting with his family after getting hit with a single charge, 1512C2, a single charge. That's what they did. They went deep into the bowels of the federal lawfare, and they found this one charge to like destroy these men's lives. Here he is reunited with his family.
Yo, there she is. There she is. They don't know what to do. Hey, buddy. Morning, pal. I missed you. No.
He's like, oh no, he shaved his face.
He's like, who the hell is this?
Nope.
Archer, what's up, buddy? Are you happy?
Are you happy?
It's absolutely inhumane what they did to these people who are only walking between the velvet ropes inside the Capitol. If you did not cause any destruction to the Capitol and you didn't have any violence with any police officers or anything like that, you should not see a day in prison. Are you kidding me? I thought Congress is supposed to represent the will of the people. Does that mean that the people can never walk into the Capitol, which is supposed to be the people's building? He, along with hundreds of other people, were only walking through the Capitol to show their grievances with this government. They were not threatening, they were not doing anything, they were only walking through the velvet ropes. They were locked behind bars for about 4 years. Are you absolutely insane? Meanwhile, we have illegal immigrants coming into this country doing the most heinous of crimes, and then they get released in 30 days. It's absolutely nuts. The justice system in this country is totally out of whack.
To happen to J6ers and what Trump should do with January 6th political prisoners. We brought it up with Mike Davis and with Mark Paoletta, who's been an excellent lawyer for Trump and on Trump's legal team. They say that, get ready, not only are pardons coming, but also the Department of Justice may pay restitution
Good.
to J6ers who they wrongfully incriminated and incarcerated. That will never get people their time back with their families, but it will start the healing process. The Department of Justice should pay hundreds of millions of dollars to these people who they politically persecuted. It's illegal what they did. It's unconstitutional. There needs to be a reckoning. This is a good start. Here we go.
It's just surreal to me. I'm so happy for the J6ers, the texts that I'm getting from them, their loved ones, their attorneys. You can't imagine the burden that has been lifted off of their hearts and their shoulders. Finally seeing hope after 4 years of this ruthless, reckless, bloodthirsty, unlawful, rogue DOJ trying to destroy their lives. What Mike Davis says, and I believe him when he says this, and he will have the access, I think, to do this. Not only will the J6ers be exonerated and pardoned and their sentences commuted, but we need a full-blown investigation into this DOJ. Merrick Garland, Lisa Monaco, Matthew Graves, the DC U.S. Attorney. Donald Trump, please let me make the phone call to Matthew Graves. Please let me make the call demanding his immediate resignation. So we need that full-blown investigation, Benny, and the collusion with the DOJ and the Biden White House to bring the 2 criminal indictments against Donald Trump. We have to have retribution. I'm not saying justice. Justice sounds great. These people have to pay for what they've done to Donald Trump, his family, more than 1,500 of his supporters, J6ers, and quite frankly, the rest of the country. And we haven't even gotten to the J6 committee and the culpability of those people, starting with Liz Cheney, for defrauding and misleading the American people and committing crimes in the process.
There's so much to get to here, but let's begin with what you just said about the Biden Department of Justice and this corrupt rat's nest that you have been on this program for years, Julie, exposing. You were a very lonely voice. You were in the courtroom for these J6 trials. You were the only person there that was there to tell a truthful story, there to advocate for the political prisoners tortured by our own American gulags, run by these sickos in the Department of Justice.
We often talk about all these other countries across the world on how they're so inhumane and how America is the gold standard for everything worldwide. We treat our people the best. If we saw something like this happen overseas and it went against the Democratic agenda, don't you think that they would interfere? They would prevent this from happening? If Donald Trump threw Democrats in prison for 4 years, all because they were peacefully protesting inside the Capitol, I would personally think that's an impeachable offense and that should never happen. And it never will, because Donald Trump's not a lunatic. And what the Biden DOJ did to these people is absolutely despicable, and they need to pay millions of dollars to these people because they took 4 years of their life away from their family. Maybe a son graduated high school, a daughter got married, your parents parents passed away. Who the heck knows what could have happened in those 4 years? Anything could have happened, and those people would have never seen it because the Biden DOJ is maniacal. And most of these people have never had a criminal charge in their life ever, yet they've been spending the last 4 years locked up. If the DOJ actually cared about protecting the American people, it would be tackling the rampant crime epidemic we've been having the last 4 years. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on this down below. Do you think that they should get paid for their time in jail? And if so, how much should each person get? What would you guys say? And yeah, if you guys enjoyed this, make sure to smash that like, comment, subscribe, and wish you guys nothing but the best. Till next time.